Hey, this is the Review Junkie, and today I'll be reviewing the new dance film, Magic Mike's Last Dance. As always, my review will be illustrated and the artwork is done by myself. And if you like movies, art, and comic books, please hit that subscribe button because all my reviews are hand drawn, and I like to get to 1,000 subscribers soon so my channel can be official. Now, this movie stars Channing Tatum, Salma Hayek, Ayub Khan and Jamila George and is written by Reed Carolyn, who wrote the entire screenplay for this whole trilogy, and is directed by Steven Soderbergh. Now, this is a non spoiler review, so everything I discuss will have been shown in the trailer. Absolutely no spoilers. I'll tell you briefly about the plot, the characters, my pros and cons, final thoughts, and if this is worth checking out at your local movie theater. Alright, I was extremely hesitant about this one after seeing the trailer, and I said to myself, you could not pay me to see this movie. Plus, I'm not a fan of this director. I feel like he always gets these big stars to be in his movies, and the end product is just lackluster. But I was going to watch it regardless because I wanted to review it. Plot wise, Mike is kind of down on his luck and he's trying to find his way after the pandemic. So he's making an honest living as a bartender for catering events. And during one event, he meets Max, played by Salma Hayek, and she's uber wealthy, and he ends up dancing for her, and she's just completely consumed by the whole thing. So raptured by it, she makes an indecent proposal to travel with Mike to London, and the two start working on preparing a new show to replace the current show at a theater. It also focuses on their relationship, and that's basically the premise of the film. It's nothing complex, and I think you can kind of put the pieces together and figure out the ending. Now, I was really shocked by this one. This movie has absolutely no business being as good as it is. It actually is the best out of the three. I know, right? I'm in complete shock. Okay? Okay. I went in the theater with a sad frown and extremely low expectations given the last two films were really pointless. And with a film like this and such an attractive cast, people are really here for one thing. I won't say what it is, so if you're here for that one thing, you'll be disappointed again. You didn't get it in part one and part two, and you won't be getting it here. And why the second one was called Magic Mike Double XL is beyond me because there was nothing Double XL about it. And thank God this was not called Magic Mike Triple XL because there wouldn't be anything Triple XL about it. However, if you can go in with an open mind and you're a fan of dance films and love well choreographed dance numbers, then I think you'll have a good time. This is very much like Dirty Dancing, Center Stage, and Bring It On, almost like Step Up's little cousin. Now, with each iteration, the nudity gets diminished substantially, and it's pretty non existent in this film. Not that it even had any major nudity to begin with, and much like the 50 Shades of Grey films, it gets less sexy with each sequel. You will not see anyone nude in this film, and the most is you'll get Channing shirtless in his underwear, and it's really a compression garment. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this one, and I'll tell you why. And my first pro are the dance sequences. The plot device bringing everyone together is the two leads preparing for the show. The dances are extremely well choreographed and highly stylized, and I got really sucked in when those dance numbers were the primary focus. It's good music, talented dancers that look amazing, just candy for the eyes, and in turn, you get entertained. And the best part is, they aren't 30-second dance sequences that suddenly end quickly, which I really appreciated. You get the whole shebang from A to Z. The other positives are the performances. Both leads are very likable, but there is definitely some believability issues with their romance, and it has nothing to do with them as actors, but I think more so with the script. I don't think the script really had any moments to really flesh out any sort of mad passion between the two. They really don't have romantic or sexual chemistry of any kind. They're just two attractive people standing next to one another. But I will say they banter really well with one another, which I think translates well on screen. And to me, the chemistry was really in the banter. I feel both of these actors have the funny bone gene in them, and when given comedic work, they really shine. I found the delivery of their lines very entertaining in specific moments. My next pro is really the biggest pro of the film, and I think she's the standout MVP here, which is Salma. I almost feel like she saved this film. She just seems like she's having so much damn fun, and she looks like she hasn't aged a day in her life since Desperado. Every time she's on screen, you can't help but be pulled in because she's just radiating this energy, and she has such an endearing accent that I find rather lovable. It's very distinctive and uniquely hers, and it just adds a certain kind of charm to the film. It seems like we are in the Salma Hayek renaissance because she's been on a roll in the last 2 years. First, there was Eternals, then House of Gucci, then Puss in Boots, and now this. It's just nice to see her in these high profile projects again, even though she never stopped acting. Now, Channing Tatum, he's great and he really shines in the musical numbers. He's not a horrible actor at all, but um, he's just very likable, and sometimes that's really all you need. Now, one of the best things are the conversations that happen between the characters, and I have to say this and get it out of the way because it's very important, but Selma and Channing have some of the most deep, philosophical conversations ever on the face of this planet. I'm talking about what is the meaning of life deep, why is the earth round, and what is the universe about? That level kind of deep. Super intellectual deep, like college dissertation deep. It'll make you gag. Okay? Okay. She also has some really great funny bits with her daughter in the film, and I really enjoyed them. It was like they kept trying to outdo one another with each new zinger. Now, I only have three small cons for this film, and the first is I think fans of dance films will agree with me. When it comes to these type of films, some of the best parts are the montage scenes of the dancers preparing and memorizing their dance routines. They do have some of that sprinkled in the film, but I actually wish there was more of it, or at least a longer one to really stretch it out in the second act. I did like the music, but none of it stood out to me or made me get hyped, and I wish they did a better selection in the music category to get audiences going. And lastly, the dancers in the show have zero dialogue, which was a shame because it would have been nice to see some of them act in the film along with the dancing. So this brings me to my final thoughts, and this gets a solid 7 out of 10 from me. This isn't a masterpiece by any means, but it is light, harmless fun, an airy, breezy film that you can sit down and not use your brain. Just drink a cold soda and watch the pretty visuals on screen and be entertained by the dedication from the whole cast. And I'm sure they rehearsed endless days to make themselves sparkle on screen. It's a fluffy film, and I have no idea why it's rated R. It's very PG, and the last two films really tried to be something that it wasn't and was dialogue heavy when they really should have focused on the dancing. Like I said, if you're a fan of movies like Dirty Dancing, Center Stage, Bring It On, and Step Up, or films in general where the main cast is preparing for a big musical number in the third act, then you'll like this one. If you're here for that one thing, then don't bother. This is a well made film with a lot of energy, so this is a big green light for me to check this out in theaters. I think you'll have a good time and be fully entertained with high adrenaline that will make you want to secretly dance. I was never bored, and the film flowed by at a nice pace. So support your local theaters and check this out on the big screen where it's meant to be seen. Now, I hope you enjoyed this review. Also, if you like, please subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot. Hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share this with your friends. Thanks so much for checking out my review, and leave your comments below on whether you like the film or not. And if you happen to have a movie you'd like me to review, please let me know. I'd be happy to watch and illustrate it for a future video. Thanks again, and I hope the pictures put a smile on your face.